Hello, my name is Kim McAllister, and I will be providing the content for this lecture. Today we will examine strategic planning. Strategic planning may seem a term that is intimidating or has little meaning for nursing. However, the strategic plan determines the key factors for nursing leaders and staff. Resource allocation, services provided to the population, and capital expenditures are a few of the decisions made in the strategic planning process. Nurses need to be active participants to provide safe and effective nursing care, protect nursing practice, and ensure appropriate policies and procedures are in place. Let's look at what strategic planning is. Strategic planning envisions the future and helps develop procedures and processes to get there. Leaders have to be able to look down the road in the future and conceptualize what may be needed. In phase 1, you have assessment. Assess the external environment by examining the impact of opportunities and threats within the environment. Some examples include economic and demographic factors. Does your agency have many clients who are underinsured or perhaps have no insurance? Is the population served by your agency made up of many childbearing women? Do you have enough obstetricians available? Assess the internal environment by reviewing the effectiveness of the organization. Examples include structure, size, and human resources. Are you sending away patients due to facility being too small? Do you have sufficient staff? Next, we're going to look at the purpose, goals, and objective of the agencies. By phase 2, we review the mission statement, the philosophy, goals, and objectives of the organization. Review the mission statement of the organization. You can find these generally on their website. Certainly in your employee materials, you should find those. If you're not currently employed, take a look at other hospitals in your areas and see what type of mission statement they have. Ensure your mission statement reflects the purpose and direction of the healthcare agency. How about your departments? Are they in compliance with the mission statement? Next, examine the philosophy. The philosophy should provide direction for the agency and/or the department. The philosophy should describe the agency's belief about patients' rights. It should provide an explanation about nursing, health, expectations of practitioners, and commitment to population served. Goals are the process of developing, negotiating, and forming the targets or objectives of an organization. Goals must be measurable and appropriate. Remember, all regulating agencies will examine the goals, so they need to be attainable. Otherwise, the organization will not be viewed as succeeding. Lofty goals may be positive, but if unattainable, they lead to negative results and consequences. Organizations must have objectives. Success involves the ability to write clear and concise objectives. A common method used by organizations is the SMART method. SMART objectives are specific, measurable, agreed on, realistic, and time-bound. In specific, the objective describes precisely what will be done. An example would be to reduce patient falls in 2019. Measurable, they have to provide a means to determine the goal has been met or is unmet. To reduce patient falls in 2019 by 10% per 1,000 occupied bed days. Agreed on, all parties that are responsible for meeting the goal must agree on it. Each department head or manager should have an opportunity to participate in creating objectives that relate to their area of responsibility. Don't forget to include the personnel who monitor outcomes or quality indicators They are key to providing the measurements that you'll need to determine success or not success. Realistic. The objective must be obtainable and reasonable. Is reducing falls reasonable if the employer provides an objective? To reduce patient falls in 2019 per 1,000 occupied bed days by including direct care staff, supervisors, and management in fall risk prevention initiatives, which will be implemented through weekly online training and monthly in-house seminars. Time-bound. A firm deadline should be set. A concrete date, not a vague estimate like in the future, down the road. When we have more staff, that's always my favorite. Okay, that's not a set date. A concrete date would be, August 31st, 2019. Next, develop a strategy for carrying out the objective. In phase 3, we identify strategies. A detailed plan of action is created based upon the goals and objectives in phase 2. Short and long-term objectives are created. Allocations of resources is determined and budgets are prepared. After the action plan is determined, the implementation phase can begin. Implementation. In the implementation phase, the strategic plan is carried out according to the priorities of the organization. See Table 16-1 for an example of an action plan. Open communication with the staff is required so that all staff understand the policies and how the plan will be put into action. Managers should review policies and procedures to determine if updates are needed for compliance. Objectives for individual and areas should be developed at this time. Remember, the department level and above objectives were created earlier. Objectives, again, must be measurable in order to successfully evaluate the plan. In the evaluation phase, we review the strategic plan to determine whether the goals, objectives, and activities are on target. Goals, objectives, or activities may need revision. This is evaluated at intervals throughout the implementation process to determine if goals and objectives are being met. If adjustments are required, that does not mean the plan failed. Internal and external factors can combine to require alterations in plans. In summary, the effectiveness of any organization depends on planning. The planning process is necessary to survive ongoing change and restructuring of the healthcare system. All members of the organization can contribute to the plan. Become involved in committees, participate in providing constructive feedback to appropriate persons, and include the organizational objectives in your career plans. Strategic planning requires teamwork and input to succeed. Thank you.